Hello, welcome to our channel. Here we challenge your knowledge.
Topic of questions in this episode of the Chernobyl series.
1. In what year did the Chernobyl disaster take place? A. 1982, B. 1986, C. 1991, D. 1979. Correct answer, 1986. 2. What is the name of the Soviet nuclear power plant where the disaster occurred? A. Kishtim, B. Leningrad, C. Chernobyl, D. Kursk. Correct answer, Chernobyl. 3. Who is the Soviet scientist played by Jared Harris in the series? A. Anatoly Dyatlov, B. Boris Sherbina, C. Valery Legasov, D. Vasily Ignatenko. Correct answer, Valery Legasov. 4th, which character represents the Soviet government overseeing the crisis? A. Anatoly Dyatlov, B. Boris Sherbina, C. Ulana Komayuk, D. Leonid Toptunov. Correct answer, Boris Sherbina. 5. What was the official response of Soviet authorities immediately after the explosion? A. Full evacuation of Pripyat. B. Denying the severity of the disaster. C. Declaring a state of emergency. D. Calling for international assistance. Correct answer, denying the severity of the disaster. 6. What caused Reactor 4 to explode? A. A terrorist attack. B. A fire in the cooling system. C. A flawed safety test and reactor design issues. D. An earthquake. Correct answer, a flawed safety test and reactor design issues. 7. Which firefighter was one of the first responders to the explosion? A. Leonid Toptunov, B. Vasily Ignatenko, C. Boris Sherbina, D. Viktor Bryukhanov. Correct answer, Vasily Ignatenko. 8. Where were many of the sickest radiation victims treated? A. Moscow's Hospital No. 6. B. A Pripyat Field Hospital. C. Kyiv General Hospital. D. A secret military facility. Correct answer, Moscow's Hospital No. 69. 9. How did Soviet authorities attempt to contain the radioactive core? A. Sealing it in concrete immediately. B. Flooding it with water. C. Dropping sand, lead, and boron from helicopters. D. Letting it burn out naturally. Correct answer, dropping sand, lead, and boron from helicopters. 10. Who was sent into the plant to manually drain water tanks and prevent a steam explosion? A. Miners. B. Divers. C. Engineers. D. Soldiers. Correct answer, divers. 11. What element was used in the reactor's control rods that contributed to the explosion? A. Plutonium. B. Boron. C. Graphite. D. Uranium-238. Correct answer, graphite. 12. What city was evacuated due to its proximity to the plant? A. Kyiv. B. Pripyat. C. Minsk, D. Leningrad. Correct answer, Pripyat. 13. What major European country detected radiation from Chernobyl first? A. Germany, B. Sweden, C. France, D. Poland. Correct answer, Sweden. 14. Why was the Soviet RBMK reactor design inherently flawed? A. It lacked a proper containment structure. B. It was too expensive to maintain. C. It used excessive water cooling. D. It had a slow response time. Correct answer. It lacked a proper containment structure. 15. What was one of the symptoms of acute radiation syndrome, ARS, shown in the series? A. Skin turning blue. B. Bleeding gums and rapid skin burns. C. Complete loss of hair in minutes. D. Paralysis. Correct answer, bleeding gums and rapid skin burns. 16. What was the half-life of some of the radioactive isotopes released? A. A few months. B. Several decades. C. 1 year. D. A few weeks. Correct answer, several decades. 17. What nickname was given to the workers who had to clear radioactive debris from the plant's roof? A. The Suicide Squad. B. The Liquidators. C. The Radiation Crew. D. The Moscow Brigade. Correct answer, the Liquidators. 18. What was the primary purpose of the sarcophagus built over Reactor 4? A. To allow radiation to escape slowly. B. To prevent further radioactive leaks. C. To prepare for reopening the reactor. D. To contain an explosion. Correct answer, to prevent further radioactive leaks. 19. What key factor made Chernobyl worse than a normal nuclear meltdown? A. The explosion ejected radioactive materials into the air. B. The plant had no security measures. C. The uranium fuel was enriched. D. The Soviet Union had no nuclear safety standards. Correct answer. The explosion ejected radioactive materials into the air. 20. What was the estimated radiation exposure of the Chernobyl firefighters? A. Until 2 Röntgens. B. 100 Röntgen. C. 500 plus Röntgen. D. 10 Röntgen. Correct answer, 500 plus Röntgens. 21. Who was the Soviet leader at the time of the disaster? A. Leonid Brezhnev. B. Mikhail Gorbachev. C. Nikita Khrushchev. D. Joseph Stalin. Correct answer, Mikhail Gorbachev. 22. What were the miners ordered to do at the Chernobyl site? A. Seal off Reactor 4. B. Dig a tunnel under the reactor to install a heat exchanger. C. Remove radioactive fuel rods. D. Collect contaminated soil. Correct answer. Dig a tunnel under the reactor to install a heat exchanger. 23. What happened to Anatoly Dyatlov, the deputy chief engineer? A. He was executed. B. He was imprisoned for negligence. C. He escaped the USSR. D. He died of radiation poisoning. Correct answer, he was imprisoned for negligence. 24. What was Ulana Komyuk's role in the series? A. A firefighter. B. A physicist investigating the disaster. C. A Soviet politician. D. A nurse. Correct answer, a physicist investigating the disaster. 25. What was the main reason Soviet officials downplayed the disaster initially? A. Lack of information. B. Fear of embarrassment and political consequences. C. Belief that the radiation was harmless. D. Pressure from the United Nations. Correct answer, fear of embarrassment and political consequences. 26. How long did it take for Pripyat residents to be fully evacuated after the explosion? A. 2 hours. B. 24 hours. C. 36 hours. D. 5 days. Correct answer, 36 hours. 27. What was one of the long-term health consequences of the disaster? A. Widespread lung infections. B. Increased cases of thyroid cancer. C. Instant sterility in all exposed persons. D. No major health effects. Correct answer, increased cases of thyroid cancer. 28. How did Valery Legasov contribute to exposing the truth about Chernobyl? A. He gave a speech at a trial explaining the design flaws. B. He published a secret report. C. He defected to the West. D. He stopped the explosion himself. Correct answer, he gave a speech at a trial explaining the design flaws. 29. What ultimately happened to Legasov? A. He was promoted to a high government position. B. He was assassinated. C. He committed suicide. D. He retired peacefully. Correct answer, he committed suicide. 30. What is the legacy of Chernobyl today? A. It remains an abandoned exclusion zone. B. It is now a fully operational nuclear plant. C. It was completely rebuilt. D. The incident was erased from history. Correct answer, it remains an abandoned exclusion zone.
Thank you for watching the video until the end. Comment and subscribe to see the rest of the videos.